Hello, my absolutely brilliant and beautiful astrology soulmates, and welcome to the channel. And welcome if you're joining us over here in the chat. Let's see, I've got two screens going right now. Let me see if I can't find us. Here we are. Oh, it's absolutely brilliant to be here with everybody in the last day of 2025, which seems absolutely wild to be saying in the first place, but here we are. So hopefully you guys are having an absolutely brilliant day wherever you are, whatever's going on, whatever your experience of the day is. I hope it's just going absolutely brilliantly for you. I just wanted to come on and end our year together in a live stream with just a little bit of time together, an opportunity to say hi, say hello, to just spend a moment on the channel together. We don't often get a chance to do that, and I'm hoping to be able to do that a lot more as we're traveling here through 2026. And I'll be bringing you some more channel information about that as we are going about and going on and traveling. So, absolutely brilliant. Now, if you're one of the soulmates, where are we? Oh my goodness, there we are. If you're one of the soulmates who is new to the Soulmate Family Tribe, I just want to say welcome and thank you for being here with us. And absolutely welcome, 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 welcome to this tribe. This is a brilliant place. We talk about astrology, astrology, astrology over here, and I love using astrology to help you build and grow the best life for yourself. Right? Whether that's you want to learn astrology, you just want to see what's happening astrologically in the week, in the month. If you want to learn how to build an astrology business, there are multiple ways working one-on-one. Whatever it is, astrology is the realm that I live in. And I love meeting with you so that we can see what the astrology is up to so we can all survive this thing together. So before we really end this year, and I have some other videos that are going to be coming out in the next series of days. Of course, your weekly will be there. Your monthly for January is already up. Your full moon and Cancer video is up as well to give you some things to guide you and to consider. And you always have access in the description box of all of the videos I do to the 2026 digital transit calendar from our friends at Wise Skies Collective. So you can use my code STORMY2026 to grab that transit calendar so it's coming right to your phone or device, whatever it is that you use, um, in order to keep track of the sky. And for those of you who are learning, hopefully you're keeping track of the sky brilliantly with your ephemeris and really learning to read that text and see where the major aspects are happening. But I wanted to, before we leave 2025, have an opportunity to just have a bit of reflection on one in particular planetary transit that has officially made its way in and that we're going to continue to experience. But I want to talk about this in a bit of a different way than I think I was able to as we were traveling through 2025. And it's the way that I'm going to continue to approach the astrology from an astrological standpoint, of course, but also in a way that I see the energy shifting for us. So in this little bit of time we're going to spend together, I want to open this a bit differently. And I want to be very intentional with what it is I'm talking about with you because I think that we know now we are moving into a year where fire and air are coming together, which is brilliant, but it's also a phenomenal combination of energy where distraction and speed and living in the head, the encouragement for that is only going to increase. Information is going to be absolutely everywhere. Some of it will be genuine, some of it will be real. The opinions from people left and right are going to be louder than we've seen even in a couple years. AI is going to be faster. And yet, beneath all of that, something I've been talking about with you for the last 2 years, and I want to really put the emphasis on it again this year, is that I think that outside of the head, beyond the head, the body and the heart are asking us for something deeper, something slower, something more honest, something more embodied. So, as I'm coming on to speak to you on our last day of the year, and depending on where you're watching this, it's because I don't just want the astrology this year to be something that you learn. Yes, learn it. But I want it to be something that you really experience. And I want to be a part of when I have time with you or you're coming to a video, bringing you into the embodiment of that experience as well as the analytical side. I want it to be something this year where you've got that pen and paper and you're able to witness yourself and witness your journey in this next year. I want it to be something that lives in your choices and you're actively thinking about what does this mean? Well, how am I going to make a different choice so that it lives embodied in your nervous system, in where you find a sense of meaning, but not just in your mind. Now, we've gotten to experience Pluto in Aquarius already. We had a little dance with it where it went in and out. It went from Capricorn into Aquarius, danced back, and it's officially here in Aquarius. And we're going to also see that in 2026, it's going to move beyond that 4 or 5 degrees that we've only seen it get to. So we've got the next level of real deep change on the table. And I am hoping that because Pluto is asking for that deeper force underneath everything, right? It's representing that death, that rebirth, that power, that truth, what has to be dismantled so that something more honest can emerge. I'm hoping that in these first 4 or 5 degrees of Pluto being in Aquarius, you have really felt the push and the pressure and the call of the things that don't work within yourself anymore, not just within society, but you yourself, right? When we think about those Aquarian waves that we see them doing this and we see the double signs, it's not just society, but it's you and how you care for yourself, what has your attention, who you are. Also, when you step into society as well, what you are you bringing into every space that you're coming into because it's making a ripple and an impact. Now, Aquarius does also rule systems, governing systems, particularly technology, collective consciousness, communities, friendships, future selves, social media for sure, all of these spaces, right? But as Pluto is visiting and moving through Aquarius, it's not just going to be the change to the systems. It's going to rewrite, of course, those structures and those systems that we live inside, but personally, as well, it's going to continue to rewrite the structures that we live within our own bounds as well. So, for some of you, depending on where you're at in your evolution of yourself, these old questions that I'm hoping in these first 5 degrees you've been able to take a look at because you felt that push and that pressure about what is your old definition of success? What is your old definition of authority? What is your old definition of your identity, who you are, who you're allowed to be? All of those have been being stripped down in a way, and I'm hoping you've had a really solid opportunity to look at what that means, and particularly looking at them in a very Aquarian way. Can my nervous system continue to handle? Can my heart, can my body continue to handle the structure I used to live within? And if not, allowing it to be stripped down because what is artificial within us won't hold. What's performative won't last, right? And so the distance between where you've had some truth and reckoning around that and where you haven't, the distance between how much work or I think how challenging this 2026 experience is going to be is really going to come down to experiencing the friction that you're being asked to be in there and get honest about so that the evolution can happen because Pluto really doesn't ask politely or give us the opportunity to opt out. It's not like, no, no thanks, I wouldn't like to grow and evolve in that way, right? It's not an option. The energy around us is on us, but it's asking us to evolve truthfully. It asks us to update that inner blueprint of power. Anything can be a power. Money can be a power, but what happens when the money is gone? I've got to find a power that I can live by consistently, no matter what's happening in my life. So if money is the power, that won't work. Because what happens to money? If work is the power, that won't work. What happens if something happens to work? Right? So what is the power that you are living by? And this is a place for all of us to be really stretched, feel a bit restless, feel a bit tender as we wrestle with these questions and we look at ourselves, right? Being quietly overwhelmed or not being able to exactly name why or what is shifting or what is changing. The thing I can say is what's not it is you're not broken. You're not broken, but the response to a deep response to an evolutionary pull that is saying the way that we have done things, especially the way that we have defined strength, productivity, what we value, worth, is no longer sustainable. And we're going to continue to answer those questions and feel those pulls and those pushes as we go with this Pluto in Aquarius transit. But the place that I continue to bring us to, and the place I will continue to bring us back to all through 2026, y'all are going to be so tired of me. You're going to be like, Stormy, stop telling us that. Stop talking about that stupid program. You know, you probably will. You probably will. And that's okay. I won't even be mad at you. But it's going to be Venusian. It's Venusian. It's Venusian. And it's why I think doing the Venus work right now is so essential. Because the evolution here, without softness and being able to return to that, is going to likely turn into resentment and some form of cruelty. The pain of Pluto is too much without the evolution in a way that allows us to grow and become embodied. It looks like burnout. It looks like I'm so effing fucking tired of growing and stretching and all, right? It's an exhaustion with these concepts. But coming back home to the embodiment of it, what actually brings you pleasure? What do you actually value? What's worth it? What's worth your time? Worth your energy? What's worth your attention? The wisdom of your intuition and your senses and your body is not indulgence. It's how you get connected and embodied. It's how you remain human in a rapidly transforming AI, is this real or is this not kind of world. Venus teaches us that power doesn't have to be hard to be real. So this year, as we're going to be continuing to be asked to evolve in a way that we really won't in other years because it won't be so new, right? But this year, as we're going to be asked to continue to evolve but stay rooted and stay in our bodies, to stay soft and aware in our nervous systems, to stay rooted, the Venus work, I think, is going to be incredibly important to move forward without abandoning ourselves because we know ourselves, we can hear ourselves, to let the heart, to let the body, to let your hips be pointed at what you want and be clear that you want it, to let that have a seat at the table alongside of our minds this year is going to be massive. And I think so much about how this work. I've seen it in this last year. I've experienced it. I've talked about it with you guys this year, but the work is generational as well, right? It's forgiveness, not forgetting. That's the freedom. That's the freedom. When you soften your grip, which is a Venusian concept, can you soften? Can you soften your grip on who you were supposed to be? When you soften your grip on punishing yourself for surviving in the best ways that you knew how at that time, when you allow compassion to move through the body instead of staying trapped or continuing to spin a story in the mind, you're going to not only change yourself and change the person you're bringing into every space and community that you're bringing. Change the person in your home, but you're going to change a lineage of people because that's the kind of embodiment that turns into empowerment. When you choose that regulation of your nervous system over self-abandonment, over presence. We did a lot of that South Node work in Virgo, in the over perfection, right? Embodiment over performance. How much did you learn in this last year about being performative? I know my work was plenty, right? But as we're doing that and we're surrounding ourselves and our attention and our time with people who are speaking this kind of work into our lives and into our space regularly, this is where we not only heal ourselves, but we will heal lineage. We will heal the communities around us. It's almost as if, and I'm a Pluto Libra, so I really see it this way, but Pluto's also in Aquarius, which is a double sign. We're healing forward and backwards at the same time. Pluto in Aquarius is asking us to take this responsibility, not just for our personal evolution, but for what we are going to pass on energetically as well. So I want to say, I think it is incredibly important this year where you place your attention. It is going to matter. What you feed your nervous system, who you let feed your spirit. Your attention this year is going to matter. What you normalize in your life is going to become an actual template for what is going to continue, not only through your year, but beyond you as well. This is how generations are changed. And it doesn't have to be through force, although Pluto is a force to reckon with because it doesn't back down, but it can be through creating different forms of freedom. I spend Listen, perimenopause has been a humbling experience, right? And I am on that heroine's journey. I am in that book in addition to other things that I do outside, but I just have such a gauge today for thinking about the women that came before us who were really strong because they had to be, what would that be? My grandmother, my great grandmother, and women before for sure. Thinking about Uranus moving into Gemini, that our grandmothers maybe didn't even have language for the pain and the change that they were experiencing. How my mother, how did that pour into her? How she was there as a Pluto Virgo, holding everyone together, carrying often more than her fair share. That today, that's not what my strength looks like. That's not the strength that we have on the table right now. The strength available right now is learning to stay whole, mind, body, emotions, ambition, while also building a life that can leave a different roadmap for the generations that are coming behind us, right? So I've talked about this crying tears that I felt were not even mine, healing and offering out forgiveness that wasn't even mine to need to give out. It was forgiveness offered out from a generation and a lineage before me, and that's freedom. And we all have access to that. We all have access to take a look while Pluto's transiting here through Aquarius at giving forgiveness and a different mentality around the women who disappointed us, even if it's you. Not excusing harm, but to release the weight of carrying it forward. Understanding what was learned, what was endured, and how now we have a different kind of awareness that's available around some of these concepts, where there was such a time that there was silence, and we have access now to new thinking, new words, new language, new self definition. and we can work and we can build on that, right? So this year, as we continue to travel, I hope these are some concepts that are coming to your mind, but they are also coming to your body and they are coming into your home. You know, I think that 2026 and this transit in general of Pluto and Aquarius is going to ask for your presence, your visibility, your regulation of your body, your nervous system, your attention, and most of all, your authenticity. And that sounds really fun and cool when we're listening to it in the YouTube video, but being authentic means everyone's not going to like what you have to say or the way that you have to say it, right? So if you're feeling tired, and the kind of tired I'm talking about is the kind that rest doesn't fix, right? It feels like pressure. It feels like a pressure I'm not fully out under, or a pressure of I don't know when the other shoe is going to drop, even when things are going well. I just want you to be aware that what it might be asking you to do under this Plutonian energy is to look at that. Are you building a life today that your system can hold? And if not, where can Venus help you to bring that into more embodiment and more empowerment? Get clear on what you value, shed and forgive what doesn't need to be there anymore. Are you feeling the pressure because that's not authentic to you anymore? You don't really want that. You're not really super interested in that anymore. Are you not are you feeling the pressure because you're not being visible? You're not letting yourself be seen for who you really are. So this is like a lot to think about and a lot to experience. And I'm hoping to bring the full experience into, through, and with you all absolutely year long. You know, I will be bringing you astrology content all year long. It will be grounded, it will be embodied because over here, when I'm not online, which is a lot of the time, I spend most of my time offline, living my life with my family, working on these relationships, getting on the ground and learning about regulating my nervous system, healing these wounds with other women's stories I told myself. I've been through my own Venus Reset program, right? My mother's going through my Venus Reset program, and I will continue to bring you someone who is working on that because it's real. Right? But also in our upcoming videos, I have some other things I'm going to talk about to help guide us as we're going through 2026. I want to see more of, I want to say more of what I see unfolding in 2026 before we have a full jump in. I am going to do one video where I talk about how I see the rise of AI and how we stay soft in it and not ignore it. But that's not hugely what we do on this channel. So we're going to just do a gentle talk around that, but how we stay embodied. I'm going to talk about the movements of Neptune and Saturn, where they've been, where they're going, and what they're asking for us. And I also have been thinking, let me know if you want this. I've been thinking about making a video about how to use astrology to find your purpose. It's one of the questions I get asked the most, but I'm curious, do you want a video on that, or do you feel like you're pretty sorted on how to use the astrology to do that and how to put the astrology into action once you know what the astrology says? Let me know if that's something that you're interested in the comment section down below, because I will absolutely make that video for sure. I will also this year be encouraging you in every weekly video and in every monthly video to soften and to experience and to stay in the game and to stay in the game, to choose embodiment as your form of liberation this year. Because we do know, particularly as Pluto gets past that 5 degrees, some of our friends, some of our family members, some of our fellow travels are not going to stay. They are going to transition as the form of liberation. So I'm going to ask you to choose your embodiment if you can as your form of liberation, changing not only your life, but your choice helps to change the world that we're going to live in next. I am massively honored to walk with you every year. I have grown up online in front of y'all in this business. And thank you for those of you who have been with me since day one. welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you've been here for a while, please also help me welcome the new soulmates who are coming into the tribe because this is a good, beautiful place. We do learning, we do growing, we do laughing. Listen, I've got hormonal hair loss going on, and I told you a few weeks ago I tried to cut my own hair after watching a TikTok video. You guys were lovely to me when I did that, and the hair was hairing. So there's a lot going on over here, and I'm absolutely honored to walk another year with you. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. And in 2026, more than I think I've ever been conscious of, I will not waste your time and your attention. I will make sure that I am set and I am ready when it is time to deliver you content because I want every moment of 2026 to be where you get to hear about. I think we had a blink out, y'all. We blinked out for just a minute, but we're here. We're back. I love you guys. I want to see you in the next videos as I'm going to talk a little bit more about 2026. The office is being reconfigured. You guys see this all the time. You don't see that I have a whole like very Taurian whole stash place over there, and we're going to be spending more time in it this year. So I look forward to traveling with you. I love you guys. Happy 20.